see where the Packers fans all want Joe Callahan, who played at Wesley, to start quarterback?
Listen, I'm about it. I'm about it.
It's pretty cool.
At Hundley kid is not a very good quarterback. So why not give Callahan a shot?
Nick Hall, is this you here in the sweater, the sweatshirt?
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to 302 Sports Weekly. I am your host, Benny Pennell, alongside, of course, my co-host, Pat Garianis. Pat, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Benny. Welcome to the circus with that intro. Here we go.
It is a bit of a circus. It's a loaded show. We have to talk about the realm of girls and boys high school basketball in the state of Delaware. We also put a cap on a crazy season that was football, and we have a state champion coach swinging by as well. We're also joined by the Wesley men's basketball team. We have their head coach and a star player on the way. We'll get to them in a second, but first we want to thank Gary and Nick from Hooters for allowing us to have their show weekly here at Hooters, the 136 Astro Shopping Center in Newark, Delaware, just off Kirkwood Highway. Swing on by, try some of the world-famous wings, hang out with some of the camaraderie around here. A lot of people come out for the show, and of course, you can take in 302 Sports Weekly, right, Pat?
Hey, you're exactly right, Benny. Like you said, we're live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. If you have any highlights, scores, stats, or any other information you would like to see on the show, just contact us, 302sports@gmail.com. Go to the website, 302sports.com. Follow us on social media with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, at 302sports. Of course, Twitter, we have that weekly poll question. Get involved that way. And then follow us on Snapchat now. Yes, we're on Snapchat at sports_302. Or just come on down to the show, like Benny said here, Hooters of Newark, located at the 136 Astro Shopping Center.
Thank you very much for that, Pat. Right now, we're going to introduce our special guest, the head coach and star player from Wesley College, Dean Burrows, alumni of Salesianum. These guys are Delaware born and bred, and of course, Brian Cameron from DNA. Guys, thank you very much for coming down.
Thank you for having us out.
So, Coach, we're going to start with you. 10 straight years Wesley has been in the CAC playoffs. You've been there for all of them as the head coach now for the past couple of seasons, and of course on the staff. What does that streak mean to you, and what does that do for the program?
Well, I've been there for 6 of these years, 3 as an assistant, and now on my 3rd as a head coach. And for us, the Capital Athletic Conference is one heck of a Division III basketball league. It's one of the toughest in the nations year after year. So for us to be in that upper echelon year after year says about where the program has come, first under Coach Kabasa, and we're just trying to continue to build on top of that success. My first 2 years as an assistant, we made the NCAA tournament. So that's what we're trying to get back to and move this thing forward. So we have our work cut out for us year after year, but when guys come into Wesley, that's what they know what they're getting into. So.
And Coach, you talked about last year only one senior graduating from the team, not much turnover on the roster besides that. What are you looking for this roster in 27-18 to accomplish? What are you looking forward to, from them?
It's one word, but it's tough, and it's consistency. Excuse me. We talk to our guys all the time about consistency being one of the toughest things to accomplish in life, and for us, just day in and day out, bringing the energy, enthusiasm, passion to the floor in everything that we do, and hopefully having that translate over to the floor. But for us, consistency. I think our guys really like each other. We haven't always had that with our program, but these guys really care about one another, and they're a fun group to be around. So just being consistent day in and day out.
Well, it's easy to like players like Brian Cameron. Brian, last year you were the CAC Rookie of the Year. What does that award mean to you?
Well, it was an honor to receive that. Coming into college, I didn't really know what to look forward to. Taking the year off after high school, obviously, and then coming to Wesley, I had to prove to my coaches, my teammates, what I can do. And once that trust started to build up, we just started getting things going from there.
You know, last year, you look at his stats, Ben, he led the CAC in three-point percentage, 47.3% clip there. He averaged 14.3 points per game. That was 7th in the conference. This year, Brian, 94 points in 5 games. That's 4th in the CAC in points per game. He got 14 assists and 21 rebounds as well. Solid season so far for you. What's been the key to your strong play in your sophomore season now?
Really just the work being put in, and my teammates obviously are a big part of that. They're just getting me open looks, off-ball screens and stuff. But really overall, I was just in the gym every day, doing what I can to get better and help my team win.
Now, Brian, we talk about that strong season. What are your goals for this season? What have you done in the offseason to help achieve those goals?
Well, like I just said, obviously in the gym every day, but a couple goals. I really want to make an NCAA appearance with this team. I feel like we have a good group of people. We all play for each other, and just going on down the season, just do what we can do what we know how to do, and hopefully go to the tournament.
Well, Coach, I want to talk to you about a game that you had earlier this year. You got a chance to play University of Delaware, as we showed some highlights on the screen. The game versus UD, you're facing a D1 opponent. What challenges did that pose for you to prepare for?
Well, for me, it was special because I'm an alum of UD, and living up here, Brian lives up this way. So for us, it means a lot. Delaware kids, born and bred, and being able to go out there and play and compete on that floor and coach on the floor means a lot. But in the past, our program is going up against the likes of William & Mary, Monmouth on a few occasions, Elon. So we had some experience there, Delaware State in close scrimmages. But, after a while, the height starts to wear on you a little bit. 6'9" starts to take its toll on 6'4", 6'5". But I think that was open the eyes of people around the state as to what Division III basketball is and what it can be and what it's about. So it was fun. We knew going in that we were going to, have our work cut out for us on the glass, and I think we held our own for the most part there. Only 11 turnovers against them. Pretty darn good, if you ask me. Made some good shots, executed for the most part. A couple things I wish we could do over again, but I think all in all it was a good night for us as a program, good night for the state as a whole.
You played them even in the second half, just a 42-42 second half score between the two teams. Brian, you had yourself quite a game in this one. As you're seeing on the screen, he kind of had a little bit of a difference in the game. He had 30 points you put up on 11 to 19 shooting. 2 questions for you, Brian. 1, what was the catalyst behind your outstanding game? And 2, what was it like doing it against the University of Delaware Division I opponent?
Well, what really sparked it was my teammates just making sure they found me, when I was open and stuff, vice versa. But it was a great experience and all, going out there. Obviously, I'm from Delaware, but being able to perform in front of my friends and family, and it was a fun experience getting to go up and down with them.
Well, that was certainly an interesting game and something that was pretty cool for everyone. But, Coach, I'm going to go back to you with this. So, to start the season, you guys are 1-4, a bit of a rough start. What hasn't been clicking, and what does the team need to improve upon?
Again, gets back to what I was saying earlier about consistency. I mean, we had an exhibition with Westchester, real game for them, and last time I looked last week, they were 6-0. They're a pretty good club, and we had them on the ropes up until that last 3 minutes or so, and so. As a coach, you're excited building off of that. Go down to Stockton, who's perennial NJAC power, Division III tournament appearance basically every year, and played well for the most part. Took them to overtime, had that game won, to be quite honest with you, and just couldn't hold on to a couple mistakes late. Then go down to University of Delaware and go out there and compete basically, and then you get right into league play and Penn State Harrisburg. We basically slept walk through most of that game until the last 2 minutes and made a furious comeback. And that's not how you want to go about things. It's always good to have that experience, but that's not what you want to do. York played about 16 minutes. They're the best team in our league, quite honestly. Played 16 minutes with them, outplaying them, and then certain things that we just didn't stretch out. We got to do a better job as coaches and players. And then last weekend was a tough one, quite honest with you. We just didn't respect the game itself as far as our preparation and going down there. It's tough to go down there, but that's not an excuse. We've had success down there in the past, and it was a humbling experience, to be quite honest with you, and something that we'll grow from. And we're looking forward to Sunday. We have to get their exams this week, which is always fun. But our guys have been dialed in on that, and we've been going about an hour a day this week. But right now, our focus is on us taking care of what we can control. And Friday and Saturday, we'll start looking at CNU some more.
Now you guys got a little bit of a road trip coming up here, Coach. Your next 4 games away from home, and 7 of your next 8. How have you prepared for this road swing as a team?
Well, we're quite used to it, to be honest with you. It's hard to get people to come into our gym and play. I don't know if you guys have ever been down there, but if you remember the old the box of St. Elizabeth's, it's kind of what it's like, but on the college scale. It's a fun atmosphere. If you're a road team, I can get why you don't like coming in. But it's tough to get non-conference opponents, and then with the CAC schedule, it just so happens that's the way it worked out for us. And that's fine. To be honest with you, I like it for us to get away. We're together, off the floor in a different capacity and hanging out and building those relationships. So, to me, it's fine. I don't know if the guys necessarily like it, but you'd have to ask Brian to speak on their behalf. But I like it. I like it.
Well, let's talk about your upcoming matchup against Christopher Newport. You got Brian. You got an interesting matchup. Potentially could be one-on-one or brought up to defend Aaron McFarland, their star player. 106 points he scored on the season. How do you stop a guy that can score at will like that?
It's team defense. Just everybody got to be helping everybody. But that's where it really starts. One person gets beat, and everybody's scrambling to get back, and that's
Coach, what's the key to this game? What's the key to getting back on the win track against a tough Christopher Newport team who's coming in with a 4-2 record?
And I'm sound like a broken record to this guy here and our guys, but it's to control the things that we can control: our attitude, our effort, being great teammates. More specifically, as far as basketball related, guarding the basketball, sitting down, guarding multiple efforts, rebounding the basketball, sharing the basketball, and communicating, doing those things. If we do those things, honestly, we can go out there and compete with anybody. I strongly believe that. But when we don't do those things, well, potentially things like we saw Saturday can happen. And I know that's left a bad taste in all of our mouths, so we're excited.
Coach, last question about Christopher Newport. They're 4-2 on the season. They played a lot of close games. About 4 of them, they played games within 5 points. 3-1 in those games. How do you go about playing a team that has won so many close games?
4-minute battles. Down there, they do a great job of producing the games with radio, TV, commentary. So 4-minute battles, because we have those media timeouts, which is great for us, to be quite honest with you. We try to win as many of those 4-minute battles. CNU's always been well coached under Coach Krikorian. He's a good friend of mine. They were Division III Final Four team a couple of years ago. They've lost, 3 very good players for their program. Thank the Lord they've finally moved on. But, like you guys said, they still have McFarland back and a couple other pieces. And those guys do a good job of executing their game plan and what they want. They just stick to it. And, that's part of the reason why they've been successful.
Well, Coach, good luck in your game this Sunday. It'll be on the road against CNU. Coach Dean Burrows and Brian Cameron of the Wesley men's basketball team here again. Thank you guys very much for swinging by.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Well, from going to talk about college basketball to high school basketball, ladies first. It's up next on 302 Sports Weekly.
Italian began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 homebuyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time homebuyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 homebuyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time homebuyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. Special thanks again to the Wesley basketball team, Coach Dean Burrows and Brian Cameron swinging by. Great interview with those guys.
Yeah, fantastic. And Brian Cameron, by the way, I remember him playing back at DMA. Kid was special, man.
Yes.
He was around when Dante DiVincenzo was around, and he always was kind of below him as far as hype goes. Equally as talented as far as Delaware State basketball is concerned.
Wesley got a very good player with Brian Cameron. Now, of course, changing things up on the set, joined by, of course, Mike Lang and Jason Winchell to talk girls basketball in high school in the state of Delaware. Looking at the top 10 right now, as we roll through it again, Caravel's still number 1. They have yet to play a game. We have Sanford, Conrad, Ursuline, and we have Cesar Rodney, 1-0. They're at 5. Howard, Archmere, St. Elizabeth, Cape Henlopen, and Hodgson ranked at number 10. Not a lot of games being played so far, Mike, but looking at the rankings, what makes some of these teams where they are?
Well, you mentioned it. There's not a lot of games have been played, so there's really no changes from last week. There were a lot of games yesterday not reflected in the records, but not really a lot of change among the top 10. St. Elizabeth's looked good yesterday, but until we get in 3-4 weeks into the season, there's just not a ton of games on the schedule. Although a lot of teams playing this weekend, and we'll mention that in a second. So, just not a lot of change because not a lot of games yet.
You look at some of the scores from last week. Cesarati, number 5, with a squeaking out a victory against Sussex Central, 42-40. Cape Henlopen, 48. Smyrna, 22. Tatnall over the Cougars at Delcastle, 46-40. And Padua with an impressive 65-31 victory over Hunt School, New Jersey. Padua, new coach this year, Jason. Not a bad start. No,
they're 2-0. They got a win last night against Appoquinimink, another big win. Sheila Donardo's got them playing defense this year. They are an aggressive bunch. They're going to have nights where they're going to be off shooting because it's a young team and stuff. But they're going to be a tough team to play every single night, and they're going to give top teams a battle all year. And I see maybe 12, 13 wins from this group, and I think they will be in the top 10 sooner rather than later.
We're talking about that top 10. A majority of teams in the top 10 are going to be playing in the She Got Game tournament, Mike. This weekend, it's state team. I love that line. Yes, She Got Game.
She Got Game.
It's a good test, though, to see where some teams match up. What are your thoughts on it?
This is a huge tournament. It's played at 5 locations down in the D.C. area, 5 schools. 70-some teams are in this tournament from about 6 different states. It is a humongous tournament. It's getting more and more teams from Delaware playing it every year. It's a great test for them. It's not too far away, so they're not missing classes. They're playing against if you have 70 teams, they're not all top 25 caliber teams. Right. But it's a great gauge for a team like our Ursuline or Padua that's going down to Caravel. Appoquinimink is playing there this year. I think a showcase tournament like this is a great opportunity for teams to play against girls that they normally aren't going to see. So Ursuline's going to play Caravel and Sanford, but Ursuline's playing St. Joseph by the Sea from New York on Saturday morning at 9:30 in the morning. By the way, I love these tournaments, and I think they're a great test, early season test for these teams. I love them.
Yeah, and 15 teams ranked in the top 25 are going to be there. Wow. 15 teams ranked in the top 25 in the nation will be at the tournament. Like Mike said, there's 70 teams overall. 15 are ranked in the top 25. Ursuline's also playing a team from Florida in it on Sunday, so they're from all different states.
So looking, you got obviously the She Got Game tournament going on, but there's some other games going on within the state this week. St. Mark's visiting Archmere tomorrow, 6:15 p.m. We will be streaming that on 302 Sports, so keep an eye out for that. Number 2, Sanford will be hosting Wilmington Christian. That's a 4 p.m. start. And also tomorrow, number 3, Conrad, starting the year off against Mount Pleasant, 4:45. Talk about Conrad. Is this the year that they finally break over the top? They've been that up-and-coming team the last 2 years, Jay.
Absolutely. I talked to the coach last week. I saw him at Padua. They scrimmaged a top powerhouse from Pennsylvania and outplayed them for 4 quarters, he said. So he's really excited. The thing with them is they're young, but they put up 50 points in the first half yesterday in their first game. 50 points over Tatnall in the first half. 32 in the first quarter.
Wow.
Fayetteville had 15. Julie Kaleja had 21. Stephanie Kaleja had a bunch of points. So they're a well-balanced team. That was a young team, so they took their bumps. Even last year, they were 19-1 in the regular season.
Yeah.
So this team has got it, and I think they're a real contender to be in the finals this year as well.
Mike, I'm going to you with this one. Looking at some of the upcoming games, is there anyone outside of the top 10, a matchup between 2 unranked teams, that you look forward to?
Yeah, I mentioned I got Smyrna and Sussex Central. Sussex Central, they lost to CR by 2 points. I think they're underrated by a lot of people. I'd love to get a chance to go see them. I don't know if they're going to be up this way at all this season, but I'd really like to go see Sussex Central. I think they're the second best team in the Henlopen North. I think they're a better team than Cape Henlopen. And those rankings we'll see how that goes over the next few weeks. But I'd love to see Sussex Central girls. I think they're going to be making some noise this year. So that's probably the game I'd want to go see.
And I'm going this. I would like to see Padua Tatnall. Padua is 2-0.
That is the game.
Tatnall is 2-1. Both just outside the top 10. Both could sneak in, and I think the winner of that game could be in the top 10 next week. So I'll be looking forward to that.
I've seen both those teams this year. They're good teams.
Yeah.
That is a matchup happening Monday at 7:15, as Pat said. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's time to talk about the men's basketball and what's going down in the top 10 there on 302 Sports Weekly. Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. Ladies, of course, went first. It's time to talk about guys basketball. And looking at the top 10 of men's basketball, Smyrna is entrenched at number 1. We also see Caravel, Sanford, Howard, Cape Henlopen, St. George's Tech, and Mount Pleasant, Sally's, Woodbridge, and Sussex Tech. They jump in after being outranked. We'll get to some of the reasons as to why. But interesting top 10, Mike, so far.
Yeah, what really jumps out at me is the number of Henlopen teams that are in there. The sports dynamic in the state is amazing, not just in basketball, football, the girls' sports, with the exception of volleyball. How many of the downstate teams are really making inroads in some of those more traditional upstate powerhouse sports. But you see a team like Cape and and St. George is not really too far downstate. Woodbridge, Sussex Tech, Dover, of course, just outside the top 10. So still the top teams are still Sanford, Caravel, and Smyrna, which is also obviously downstate. But what jumped out at me when I was looking at not just the top 10, but the scores this week, and how much Henlopen North is really making a push to be in the top echelon of the teams here in the state.
So you look at some of the scores from last week. Number 1, Smyrna defending the state championship with a victory to start the year off against number 5, Cape Henlopen, 64-55. Newly transferred Greg Bloodsworth led the way with 27 points, and Caleb Matthews added 26. Those two are going to be quite the duo as the season goes on. Number 6, St. George's Tech starts off the year with a 4-point victory over Red Lion. Bones, Nashawn Highland, 27 points in that one. And Sussex Tech, they climb into the top 10 with a victory over number 9, Dover, 69-62. So far, you've seen big games from big players, Jason. Is this what we should expect to see this year?
Absolutely. You can see already that these guys are coming out with the hot hands. Matthews and Bloodsworth both hit 5 3-pointers in that game. So that's where most of their thing. And more importantly, Bloodsworth was 6 for 6 from the charity stripe. I know from a lot of the games I went to this weekend, the free throw shooting has not been good.
Yeah.
And so to have somebody go 6 for 6 down the stretch in that close game to hold off number 5 Cape Henlopen was impressive. And then Bones for St. George's Tech with the 27. Let me tell you, a team to watch out for, Red Line. They are really, really, really good this year. They didn't graduate anybody from last year. Got 3 good freshmen on that team. Watch out for Red Line. It wouldn't surprise me if they're in our top 10 sooner than, real soon.
Last time we saw Red Lion play this well, 2011, they made a state championship appearance. Lost on a buzzer beater 3-pointer from Deion Jones from about 40 feet away, in case you were forgetting that.
At Dorm Sanford.
Talk about state titles. It looks like Smyrna could be a team that wins one in football and could potentially win one in basketball the way they played. I'm going to talk about that Smyrna game. They held off a challenge from the Vikings, Mike, behind the solid backcourt of Bloodsworth and Matthews. Who can step up to help out or to help these two out?
Yeah, they also won their second game by 5 points. So Matthews only had 14 in that game. There's a gentleman by the name of Malik Veasley Johnson at 7 points in the first game. And they've also picked up a few football players that are going to be coming in. Isaiah Wilson, the quarterback, is on the roster. And I think Aku, the safety, I believe is coming onto the team. And so they'll get some help. When you rely on a 3-pointer the way that Caleb Matthews does and Greg Bloodsworth, it's going to be nice when you don't have it. You're going to need some
rebounding,
some secondary scoring and some rebounding to get it done. So we'll see how the football players can help them out.
And Cape, it doesn't get easy for them. Number 3, Sanford will be coming around. I don't know how they're going to stop the 2 big boys down low, but it'll be an interesting game to keep an eye on there as far as the top 5 game goes. Looking at other games this week, we talked about that. Henlopen visiting Sanford Friday, 7 o'clock. St. George's Tech going to my alma mater, St. Elizabeth, who started off the season pretty well. Tuesday, that's a 6:45 start. And then number 1, Smyrna, and number 10, Sussex Tech, Tuesday, 7:15 p.m. Jay, which of those games ticks your eye the most?
I think that's Smyrna Sussex Tech one. I want to see what Sussex Tech presents itself. They got a nice opening win against a Dover team that beat Sanford in the Fall League and gave Slasianum all they could handle in the scrimmage earlier this year, and took Smyrna. They only lost to Smyrna by 5 points last night. So that Dover team is pretty impressive. The Sussex Tech got a nice 7-point win against them. I'd like to see how they play against Smyrna and see if they are in that Henlopen North race.
Yeah, another thing, Benny, real quick. Smyrna, they had the game at Sussex Tech. 2 days later, state championship rematch with Caravel. So do they get caught looking ahead?
The trap game.
You never know.
Trap game. Those are always pretty scary. Last question to both of you. Games outside the top 10. We asked about the girls. We're going to ask about the guys. What other games that are interesting?
Yeah, mine is next. It's actually this Thursday. Tomorrow, St. Thomas More at Hodson. There's still no roster online for Thomas More. I just want to see who's on that team.
Yeah.
They graduated 3 starters, and Bloodsworth left. They graduated their top reserve, Pat McGee. but there's supposedly talent on that team, but nobody. This is like DB Cooper. Nobody knows it's a mystery, you know. I want to see who's playing for St. Thomas More.
Mike, you get 10 points for the reference.
It's like the old AAU games where you would show up with a bag full of uniforms. Whoever came got one, and whoever didn't.
I want to see Thomas More play, and that's unfortunately cannot go to Hodgson tomorrow, but I would if I wasn't doing the game at Archman.
There you go.
For me, I'm looking forward to the Archman Newark Charter. They are playing Friday at DMA or the Diamond State tournament, kickoff tournament. Our Newark Charter beat Brandywine yesterday, so I would like to see what they do against Archman and see how that conference shakes up. And they're going to be playing in a neutral site in DMA in that new gym, so I think that would be an interesting game for me of teams outside the top 10. And Newark Charter is at Salesianum next Tuesday, so it would also be a chance to see them play a team from the top 10 next week.
10 points for the DB Cooper reference. I'm not sure a lot of people are going to get that.
Thank you.
No.
DB Cooper for 400, thanks.
And the money he took.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, DB Cooper will not be joining us. Coach Judy will.
How do you know?
Of the state champion football team from Smyrna.
How about
It's up
Colombo?
next on 302 Sports Weekly.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley
Hey, how
joined
about
Patterson
Colombo?
Sports and Associates in
Just one more
2005.
thing.
In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Sports Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So, for your next purchase or sale,
So
think
look,
the
Nick,
Hadley Group.
the way this
Visit
is
our
set up
website at
on here is we do a recap of their game, interview them,
The Hadley Group is your local real
commercial
estate
break,
resource.
then D2. Jimmy, so we're doing their game,
Hooters of
interview
Newark
them,
is located
commercial
at
break, then
136
D2.
Astro Shopping Center,
Wait,
Newark,
set up
Delaware.
where?
Come in
However
day
you
or
guys
night
want
to
the
watch
time.
your favorite teams and sports
like
on
that.
our many TVs. It's a great,
Coach, how we
fun-filled
doing?
environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings,
I gotta
which are
say,
the official wings of 302sports.com.
That's a damn good Middletown team.
Oh yeah, they're no joke. You want me? Where do you want me? Right here.
Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees and clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction.
They're always
Visit our
gonna be
new
well
showroom
coached.
in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 3577 Kirkwood Highway.
It's something when we
You
took over
envision,
the
we
program
create.
at Smyrna, we felt like, we kind
Life's
of
too short to hate your home.
There's a lot of
Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's number one home improvement company.
Middletown is one of them.
Ferris Home
So,
Improvements
we
has
kind of set
something
out to
for
do that.
every
We got to be
homeowner at the
physical.
new showroom
We
on the
can't
corner
back
of
down.
Kirkwood
We got to take
Highway
chances.
and Harmony Road in Newark,
We
Delaware.
got to play great defensively.
Explore
Shut
products
down
and
the run.
layouts with the area's
And,
top designers.
although,
Touch
in
and
recent
feel
years, with
products
that
that
warrior of a
inspire
quarterback
your
they have,
dream
he's
space.
fried.
Ferris
He's
Home
no joke.
Improvement's pride in the details
we got
make them the area's
our
best
game plan was
in
basically to
roofing,
just put
windows
him,
and doors,
put him on
siding,
display.
decks,
No, he's a
kitchens and
junior.
beds.
He's a junior. He's got
You
one
want
more
a
year.
professional,
Yeah.
no-pressure remodel?
Oh my
Go see
Lord.
the best
Kid's
at the
throwing
Big
like
Shamrock on
75
Kirkwood
yards and he's
Highway.
a junior.
Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor
So,
you can
how,
trust.
okay, Will Knight's graduating.
Life's
Isaiah
too
Wilson's
short.
graduating.
Joined Patterson Sports and
Hunter's
Associates in
graduating.
2005. In 2013, Nicole
How are you gonna
Flora
replace
joined Brian,
Wade?
followed by Emma Burnett and Grant
Wade.
Jepp in 2014. That's when
Yeah,
the Hadley
we
Group
are
was
losing
formed.
some key,
Patterson
Yeah.
Sports
key
Associates
personnel
offer you exceptional
and some key
knowledge of
roles.
local market
But
conditions
we did
and a
last year
commitment
also.
to represent you
I don't
honestly and
have any
professionally.
reason to doubt
So
that,
for your next
the
purchase
young
or
guys that are
sale,
coming up
think the
have been
Hadley
well
Group.
coached and
Visit our
are going
website
to be able
at
to step into those roles.
thehadleygroup.com.
We're going to work really hard in the off season. We're going to work really hard in the
Hooters of
preseason.
Newark is
Seek out the
located
best
at
opponents we
136
can for
Astro
scrimmages
Shopping Center,
and
Newark,
really put those
Delaware.
kids to
Come
the
in
fire,
day or
whoever
night to
those
watch
new
your
faces
favorite
are,
teams and
to step
sports
into those
on our
roles.
many TVs. It's a great,
And
fun-filled
it's
environment
gonna be-
that is kid-friendly.
You're never really
Our
going to
craveable
replace
food
a kid
menu
like Will
has
Knight.
all the
He's a
appetizers,
special
burgers, salads,
once-in-a-lifetime
tacos,
type of
seafood,
player.
you name it,
So,
as well as our world-famous Hooters
but
wings,
I think
which
we
are the
have a
official
stable
wings of
good athletes in the
302sports.com.
program that should be able to take over. And we'll have our bumps along the road, but we'll be okay.
Opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools, promote your business, gifts for your employees and clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 3577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique image, new envision, we create.
They really bought into the idea of brotherhood.
He began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended how efficient and effortlessly makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. The loan that fits you, contact Brian today.
Continue that upward trend.
Began his career in home finance in
Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at the new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris
So I pride myself on being early.
Details make them the area's
So I made
best
sure I'm about 20 minutes early for whatever I'm going to.
siding, decks,
So I show up 20 minutes early.
Want a
to
professional,
Newcastle.
no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
local real estate resource. Brian Hatley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hatley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So, for your next purchase or sale, think the Hatley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. The Hatley Group is your local... Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our grateful food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
20 minutes. Went to the parking lot. Went to the parking lot.
Opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that.
What's going through your mind?
Looking
I
for
just gotta
marketing
ask you this
tools,
one.
promote your business,
Looking at the recap of the game, you guys were down
a special
late.
event.
You guys were
We're
down
here
in the
with the
fourth,
voice
and
of
make that comeback.
experience to
What's
help
going
you
through your
every
mind?
step of the way for your
That's
complete
a team where, like,
satisfaction.
you're trailing
Visit
them.
our new showroom in the
They
Mill
can
Creek
put you
Shopping
on.
Center, 3577 Kirkwood
I'm a
Highway.
pretty calm
Unique
guy.
image, you envision,
on the
we create.
outside for sure, you know. And
Unique Image opened for
inside, I
business
can't
in
tell you
Wilmington,
what's
Delaware
going
in
on.
1979 with one
I know this is
focus.
going to sound
Life's
crazy,
too
but
short to hate your home.
we never
Remodel your home with the
wavered.
pros voted Delaware's
Not even the
#1
slightest
home
bit.
improvement
And I'll tell you
company.
what game has led
Ferris
to
Home
that for our
Improvements has
program
something
was
for
that
every
crazy
homeowner at
Sally's
the new
game.
showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space.
It
Ferris
does.
Home Improvements
Looks
pride
like you-
in
what is it,
details make them the area's
Conquered-
best in
I don't watch that
roofing,
show.
windows and doors, siding,
Game of
decks,
Thrones guy.
kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a
Well, I
professional,
don't know.
no-pressure
I guess I'm
remodel? Go
channeling
see
my
the
inner,
best at
Viking
the
in
Big
there.
Shamrock on Kirkwood
Winter's
Highway.
coming.
Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
Brian Hatley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In
That
2013,
Sally's
Nicole
game wasn't
Flora
us.
joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hatley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment
I never
to
want to be in
represent
one of those games again, but I'm glad I was in it. It completely changed me and anybody else.
So, for your next purchase or sale, think the Hatley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. The Hatley Group is your... Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
And welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly, changing things up on the set again because Benny Pinello, Pat Garianis, and Coach, I should say championship-winning coach, Mike Judy from Smyrna. Congratulations on your state championship victory.
Thank you.
Three-peat, Benny. Three-peat.
It's officially a dynasty. It's officially a dynasty. Third year in a row winning the state championship. Does this one feel a little different?
They all have felt wonderful. I mean, it was an amazing thing. 2015 we were the dark horse. Nobody even knew, that we were capable of something like that. And I don't even think our kids really knew until we got into that dogfight with Sally's. Every year has been awesome. It's a totally different game, totally different season. This year has been special to me in particular. This senior class that we're graduating was my first 4-year senior class. It started with me as the head when they were freshmen. And they've done everything they needed to do. Bought into every kind of head, mind game I could play with them, and they would run through the wall for each other. Unbelievable job by them. They really bought into the idea of being a family and playing for each other, and it showed. And so this one it is going to be in the long run. When I look back on my career, this will be a special one.
I was going to say it better be a special one because we got a special photo as we put it up there. What was going through your mind there?
That's love and life right there. That's what that looks like.
Well, I try to be cool and calm, but sometimes my emotions get me, and I don't know exactly what was happening in that moment, but I was obviously pretty fired up. Thanks.
That's not your profile pic.
Oh no.
Moving forward, not your profile. You talk about it. What is so special about this championship?
Oh man, we had to battle every bit of the way. We went into this season with looking for what is the challenge that's going to take our program to the next level. Especially with all the new faces we had starting. So we sought out the best competition we could. We were lucky enough to be able to schedule a scrimmage with Good Counsel. We had a great Saturday scrimmage against them, and we were like, wow, man, we're really ahead of the game. And then we come off of that game and get punched in the mouth at Middletown, lose our first game, which was a good, humbling experience for our guys. Brought us back to fundamentals. Then we get beat up by a very good Franklin team out of Maryland, who's a state contender every year. We kind of got what we wished for at that point. It was really a turning point. We turn around the next week and have to play a tremendous team out of North Jersey in Irvington High School, who is another powerhouse. And we ended up somehow finding a way to beat them, and that really solidified us as a team. And we just sought out, like I said, we sought out great competition. Our kids continued to rise to that occasion every time we challenged them.
They say it all the time. It's very hard to beat a team twice in the same season. You guys played Middletown in our very first 302 Sports Spotlight game of the week. You lost that one, like you said, 35-28. What did you learn from that game that you were able to turn things around in the big one that mattered?
Well, I think in that first matchup, one thing that I could look back and definitely say was, in that moment of the season, Middletown was really good, fundamentally and talented athletically. And of course, schematically, their coaches are awesome. We were not good fundamentally. We were very good athletically and really good scheme-wise, but we were not executing at a high level. And what it did was it forced us and forced our kids to buy back into our normal approach of practice, which is we have to worry about us. You have to focus on us every single day, every single rep, every single drill. Any chance you have to make yourself a better version of you, that's going to help our team win. And so we got back to the fundamentals again, and the kids really responded well. We just continued to trend upward at that point.
Of course, Smyrna beating Middletown in the state championship. Talking about Middletown, only 2 losses in 2 years, both in the state championship and both to you. So obviously you know the formula that no one else seems to have figured out yet. How to stop Middletown? What is the solution?
Well, Middletown is one of those programs that has a long storied history of success in Delaware, and along with that comes that mojo factor, where they walk into the stadium and people are, oh man, Middletown's here. Well, I'm not really from up this way. I played at Dover, so I had never really faced them. So the mojo factor was new for me. So I'm not going to say I didn't buy into it. I totally respect their program. But for me, it's another game. And it just happens to be against a rival, and we're doing everything we can to win a game. But if you're going to play Middletown or any really good team in our state, you got to be physical. You have to stop the run. In our case, we like to gamble a little bit, not literally gamble, but on the football field. And we had to take chances, and we play real loose. We do some things in the kicking game that are very unorthodox, and our offense is unorthodox. And I think that's the way you have to play. You have to, really let it hang out there and go after them.
Last 3 seasons, Coach, 27 wins and, of course, the 3 state championships. That doesn't happen by accident. What would you say is the biggest contributor to the success of the program since you took over? Has it been talent, hard work, conditioning? What would you say it is?
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that all those things matter. I would say the biggest factor in the turnaround has been just the kids believing in each other, believing and knowing that they can do it. And they always say winning breeds more winning.
Yes.
And we had to kind of get off the schneid. We were a cellar dweller. We really were. And the first thing was, hey, we got to compete and try to win our conference. And we took those steps to do that. And then it was, all right, now we got to compete to try to make to the playoffs. And we did that. And our kids, they work extremely hard, and our off-season conditioning program and off-season lifting program is, in my opinion, is one of the best in the state. And, it'd be hard-pressed to find the amount of involvement we get. And then you throw that together with some great kids from a good, hard-working, blue-collar town that work for everything they get. And, you surround them with great coaches. My coaching staff is phenomenal. As long as you stay healthy, you have a recipe for success.
Coach, I know you just won, and you're still enjoying it. But looking ahead to next year, you're graduating a lot of talent. Will Knight, Isaiah Wilson, Hunter Moyer.
Yeah.
How are you going to replace, if not really replace, but how are you going to fill the voids that are going to leave?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you don't replace a Will Knight. You don't replace, a Hunter Moyer. There are things that those guys bring to the table every day, not just in games, but the way they approach the day and attack the day. My biggest hope is that they have done what the seniors that were ahead of them have done, which was to leave a legacy of this is the blueprint to success. And, if you're young in our program and you follow that blueprint, you have a great chance to be successful. We had a lot of new faces this year that started. Middletown, for example, was the first game against Middletown opener, was a lot of our players' first varsity game experience. So, we probably had a dozen of those guys out there.
Right.
I feel we have enough horses in the stable to still be a competitor next year. You are definitely not going to replace some of that senior leadership and the talent there. But I look forward to the challenge. We look forward to the challenge as a program, and we're getting ready to get after it here shortly.
Hey, Coach, you've been talking about the game the whole time up here. Let's take a look and recap. Let's check the highlights out from this one. Obviously, fantastic game in this one. It was a great day at Tubby Raymond Field at the University of Delaware. As you're seeing now, the Eagles come onto the field with Coach, the championship belt. I gotta ask about that. That thing's cool, man. Yeah. Where did you come up with that idea?
Came up with it. We've been carrying that thing with us for 2 years. We see some imposters out there too. Other teams that have championship belts. Don't try it till you win one.
There it is.
It really brought a lot of juice. We call it the big boy belt. So the man who has done the biggest job that day gets to carry that belt for 24 hours. And they got to bring it back, and we deliver it to the next guy who carried the load for our team.
There it is. And to start the game off, opening kickoff fumbled. Smyrna's going to finish. Oh, we're not doing a recap. All right. Well, there we go. It's not working. Anyway, throughout the game, you guys pushed the limits. Will Knight, of course, had a big game. 30-27 was the final in this one. Will Knight over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just overall impressive performance by you guys. And what was the turning point there? In that third quarter. They kind of turned this one into your swing. What was there a certain point that you can remember from the game that we were like, all right, we got things under control?
Yeah, I mean, things were definitely, looking grim, especially, to the fans. I didn't feel that we wavered as a team. But there was a really big 4th and 3 stop where Daryl Williams, a sophomore linebacker for us, kind of
Drew. It was Drew Fry on the run. Yeah, that was a big
Drew
hit.
Fry on the run. Drew was scrambling, trying to make something happen like the warrior he is. He dove and laid out there to try to get the first down. And Daryl Williams hit him. And Jeremy DeGar came in and cleaned him up and helicoptered him. And I think Drew got up thinking he made the first down, but he was short. And that was a big turning point because that sparked us getting the ball back, and then Will Knight broke that long one at the end.
Coach, last question. Is it going to be 2018 or 2017? Because it seems like we're doing this all over again. Season opener is against, you at home have guessed, it's against Middletown again. You've got an entire offseason to rest, reflect, enjoy the state championship, but at some point, it's a bit of a headline question here. That game's got to be on your mind a little bit.
Oh, yeah. We'll get back to business here shortly. We are going to take some time off, of course. First things first is we got to come back to level and get back in the weight room. I mean, we've been in the weight room, but get the whole team back in the weight room and get going and start preparing our bodies, for a long season and a physical opener against a great team. So it's definitely going to be on our mind. We'll attack that beast as we get a little bit closer. Right now, we're going to focus on us and try to have a great offseason.
Well, he's a great interview and a state champion. Coach Mike Judy of Smyrna, congratulations again. Enjoy.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for swinging on through. We'll take a quick break. We come back. D2. It's up next on 302 Sports Weekly.
Customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique image you envision, we create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image you envision, we create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service.
Hooters, have a seat wherever you like.
Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
Welcome to Hooters, have a seat wherever you like.
Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust. Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best.
Later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique image, you envision, we create.
The Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust. Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens and bathrooms. Want a professional no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. Benny Pinella, Pat Garani, shifting things again because it's time to talk D2. We're joined by Mike Lang and Jason Mitchell. Before we get started on D2, I want to say thank you very much to Mike Judy again for stopping by. Great interview, fun guy to talk to, and of course that photo is worth 1,000 words.
It really was. It really was.
Actually, that photo is priceless, but it says 1,000 words right there. But okay, that was Division 1. Division 2, starkly different game.
Yeah, a little bit different. Defensive struggle in this one. Both teams, coming up with a way to stop each other. 14-7, Delmar wins their first state championship since 2009 in this one. And, Benny, one big play to start the game off. That guy, I might have heard of this guy, Tashawn Denard. I don't know if you guys heard of him.
Heard of him.
Yeah, I think he had 10 touchdowns throughout the playoffs coming in, or 12. He scored a touchdown in this one to start the game off, 58 yards on an option pitch. Gave Delmar the early lead. Milford did respond, however, tied it up. Their quarterback, Tyone Matthews, on a QB sneak after a long bomb pass, tied it up. But ends up 14-7. Delmar gets a touchdown in the second half. Jake Von Arks, who's one of their backup quarterbacks, they decided they wanted to give Trader a couple possessions off to save him because he's a great defensive player. He comes in, and Von Arks got a good little arm with him too. Throws a nice back behind the grain throw to Carson Phillips, and that ended up being the game winner. That was right before halftime.
It was the last play of the first half. There was 0 seconds as he caught the ball on the clock. So, and they took that 14-7 lead and then played great defense in the second half to preserve the championship.
So that's it,
A couple turnovers, I think, also hurt Milford in the second half.
Yeah.
And Milford really had a great offense all year. They ended Woodbridge's win streak, and they just they ran into a better team with Delmar. A lot more defensive game than anybody really expected.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Milford towards the end driving. At the end of the game, they get to about the 30-yard line. Very little time left, and the other Denard, this is Taquan Denard, came up with a really nice play, intercepting a pass to end the game. And Delmar, of course, like I said, won the first state title since 2009.
Yeah, congratulations go out to Delmar. But this is an interesting run because both of these teams had to do vastly different things to get to this level. Delmar had to beat the #1 seed and then the #2 seed to get into the state championship. That's an impressive feat, Mike.
Right, and we talked about this the last couple of weeks because there was a 4-way tie for that spot. Yes, Delmar was the 8th seed. They were 9-1 in the regular season. This was kind of an unusual year in Division II as far as the seedings went. That was almost 6 teams that 8-team bracket really had a shot going into this. And hey, but it is an 8 seed, and Milford, I believe, was the 4 seed. So that was, or the 3, whatever they were. There was, we're going to call it an upset. It's an upset. A great season for Delmar and Dave Hearn and the community down there. It was great to see the reception. They got back late. That's a 2-hour drive from Newark, about an hour and a half drive. And that game didn't end until 8 o'clock maybe. So that's a late night for them. I'm sure that they didn't mind that drive back.
If it was anything like my state championship night, you're absolutely right.
You guys were in Dover, right?
Yeah, we did not mind any kind of ride. We did not mind if we slept that night or anything. It was, we're champs, and that's how it was going to be. So.
Well, we'd be remiss not to mention Milford. They had a little bit of a run, too. They had to beat Woodbridge twice this season, which is very difficult to do. Yep. And then, of course, they got by Friends, so I want to make a quick shout-out to my neighbor Jason Seville. Congrats. and he's graduating as well. So congrats on a great season.
Congrats.
But beating Friends 14-7, you get to the state champion, and then you lose. A rough way to end it, but Milford, we have to acknowledge their season. Very good.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, with Bowman, the running back, had a fantastic year. Yep. And I'm not familiar with the whole roster, but I'm sure Milford's going to be right back there next year. They'll be a contender again. If Henlopen South was a little kooky and crazy down there this year, and a lot of entertainment value in that Henlopen South.
Yeah, and Milford to beat Woodbridge twice, and then to get revenge on the Friends team that knocked them out of the postseason last year. Yeah. They get the revenge. They came up here and had to play them up here. Not an easy trip for Milford. They come up, they get the win, and then they came back up. And the first time they played Del Mar was 35-10. Let's not forget that. This time it was 14-7. They were right in it and had a chance to win it at the end. So that Milford team has nothing to hang their hats on. They had a great season.
Second year in a row, Division II had the real defensive battle in the final. Last year was 14-9. The Woodbridge over Friends. And how about Friends' new quarterback this year? Right back to the semifinals. I think you could give Bob Tattersall 11 kids off the street, and he'd probably have him in the state tournament.
He's a very good coach. But you know, a lot of storylines. It was a great fall season, great football season, both D1 and D2. It's a shame it's coming to an end, but went out with a bang. 2 great games in the championships.
Could not ask for much more than that. Well, it's time for our final run through. We have our look at Delaware College sports. It's coming up after the break on 302 Sports Weekly.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. Quick break there because it's time for the final rundown, Pat. What's going down in Delaware College sports?
You look at UD football. Let's talk about Bilal Nichols here from Hodson. He's invited to play in the East-West Shrine game January 20th at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's that time of the year, Ben, where the All-Star games get going. Congratulations to Nichols. That's a really good accomplishment. As far as UD, as we continue on, basketball, Yale jumped out to a 24-point first half lead and held off the Blue Hens in the second half as the Bulldogs posted a 76-66 victory over Delaware Monday night at the Bob Carpenter Center. Anthony Champ Mosley, graduate of Sanford, had a team-high 23 points and added 9 rebounds. Mosley has reached double figures 5 times already this season for the Blue Hens.
The Hens are currently battling Buffalo tonight and on a Saturday.
Yeah, big game.
Yeah,
Notre Dame,
you're
welcome back
Irish.
Mike Bray, top 15 ranked team in the nation.
I should say that game is sold out, by the way, so no tickets for that one.
Hasn't been sold out since Bray left, and figures when he comes back, that's the next sellout.
We'll keep it on basketball. Wilmington basketball, 10 different players scored as Wilmington University men's basketball team ran away with the 2017-2018 CACC opener against Holy Family, 97-63 on Tuesday night at WU Athletic Complex. 34-point margin of victory, the most against a CACC opponent for the Wildcats. The second biggest win in the program's NCAA era. The 2008-2009 Wildcats defeated Penn State Abington by 38. That was back in 2008. The 97 points are tied for the third most in a single game for the Wildcats, joining last year's team that scored 97 against Nyack on February 4th. Nick Richards of Hodgson led the Wildcats in scoring with 24 points and shot 7 of 16 from the floor, while adding 7 assists and 5 rebounds.
Yes, he did. And then we look here, Benny, at the women's team over at Wilmington. It was a lopsided third quarter and a wealth of support to help the Wildcats women's basketball team start its CACC schedule off on the right foot. 73-62 victory over Holy Family on Tuesday night at the WU Athletic Complex. The Wildcats scored in a plethora of ways, getting 3 players with 17 or more points, as well as Emma Matthews, Caleb's older sister of Padua, lighting up the box score with 7 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocked shots. They call that the stat stuffer right there. Happy holidays. Macy Robinson, former classmate of mine here at St. Elizabeth, collected her second double-double with 17 points and a team-high 14 rebounds in that one. Little Delaware flavor at Wilmington.
Delaware flavor at Wilmington. Little Delaware flavor at King's College, wrapping up their football season. Senior Tyler Marioni from Salesianum was named the 2017 MAC Conference Fall Championship team. The conference office announced that on Thursday. The MAC sportsmanship teams recognize student athletes who exemplified great character and demonstrated the act of sportsmanship both on and off the field. These student athletes were selected by head coaches of their respective teams. We're talking about Delaware Valley really quick. The College of Brockport survived a wild Delaware Valley University comeback and down the host Aggies 31-28 in the quarterfinals of the NCAA Division III playoffs. The Aggies defense was led by senior safety Sean Miller from Laurel, as the All-American candidate notched 15 tackles, including 12 solo.
That's impressive numbers right there. Moving on to Shepherd University, sophomore tight end DJ Cornish, formerly of Lake Forest, earned first-team accolades, being named to the 2017 D2 CCA All-Super Region 1 team. Congratulations, DJ.
Congratulations go out to him, and congratulations go to David Sills of West Virginia. The Big 12 Conference announced its annual All-Big 12 Conference teams. Of course, it'd be remiss not to put David Sills on there. No. He was first-team honoree. He's also finalist for the Blitnikoff Award. Leads the nation, 18 touchdown receptions, 60 catches for 980 yards.
Might have worked himself into draft day right there with those kind of numbers. Let's move on. Speaking of draft, let's move down here to Pittsburgh Panthers. Former AI Tiger Quadri Henderson has declared to forego his senior season and enter the NFL draft. Let me tell you something right now. Whoever drafts this young man's getting a playmaker. Yes. Perhaps the next Dante Hall or Devin Hester and Quadri Henderson right there.
Very impressive.
He also was named, I think he was all-conference as a returner once again this year. Joe.
Yes, he was all-conference there. ECU, they rallied from 17 points down in the second half to earn their third straight overall victory. 69-66 over Campbell inside Williams Arena. Isaac Fleming from Wilmington, he scored 19 points on 5 of 10 shooting, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 37 minutes of playing time. It was his 5th consecutive game scoring double figures, and it's matching his career-long streak. And, of course, he led the Pirates in scoring for the 3rd time in the last 7 games. Fleming is averaging 18.8 points per game.
That's impressive. Let's move on to Rider University and redshirt freshman Jordan Allen from Dover High. He's been named the MAAC Rookie of the Week for the 3rd straight week. The league office today announced. Allen had another strong week, averaging 19 points, hitting 46.7% from deep, that's 7 for 15, and making all 7 of his free throw attempts. He began the week with a season-high 28 points, including 5 of 10 from long range in a near upset at Providence. He then added 10 points at Drexel on Saturday, and he has now scored in double digits in all 8 games so far this year, averaging 18.1 points per game, shooting 46.8% from long range, and just under 92% from the foul line.
Now, Pat, I know you'd love to talk about this guy, Trayvon Duval from Sanford. 15 points for the Dukies, 8 assists and a win over South Dakota. Duval is second in the ACC.
Yeah, that would be second. Yeah,
right. With 6.6 assists per game. 3rd in steals with 2.2 per game.
He also had a pretty sick behind-the pass to Marvin Bagley last night. They played St. Francis at PA.
Very impressive player. That is our Players of the Week, Will Knight, senior from Smyrna. 278 yards rushing, 31 carries, 3 touchdowns. Also throwing a 41-yard touchdown. Hey, Will Knight can do it all.
I talked to him after the game about that. He's just kind of like, hey, man. He kind of did the Jordan shrug. You know, he's like, what do you want from me?
79-yard touchdown run, 2-point conversion with 2:38 left, sealed the win for Smyrna. Also, Carson Phillips, senior from Delmar, caught the winning touchdown as time ran out in the first half. He was also very good defensively. And, of course, Lynn J. Brown, the senior from Dickinson, scored 46 points in a pair of wins over the weekend. She scored 24 in a win over McKean and 22 in a win over Newark.
And I believe in their last game scored every single point for Dickinson. All 37 came from Lynn J. Brown. So 32 points, I apologize.
32 points.
She's had a quite the start to the season.
She's very, very impressive player there. Of course, girls basketball will be on Thursday, tomorrow, St. Mark's versus Archmere, 6:15 for that one. Check that one out on YouTube. Well, I want to say thank you to the Wesley basketball team. Thank you to Coach Judy from Smyrna for winning, for stopping by, and of course, congratulations to them and Delmar for winning the state championship.
And I want to give a thanks to you, buddy. Thanks to you for being here, being present, and being excellent.
We'll talk to you next week. It's always full of jokes.